Hello, this is a presentation on the analysis of Dota 2 by Kalen Johnson and Andrew Geer. Dota 2, also known as Defense of the Ancients, is a multiplayer online battle arena. The game consists of real-time strategy controls and is played on a single map shown to the right. It is a team-based game with two teams known as Radiant and Dire. Each of these teams are made up of 5 players. Dota 2 is only available to play on PC through the Steam platform owned and published by Valve, an American video game developer, publisher, and digital distribution company. The goal of the game is to 1. Invade the other team's base, and 2. Destroy the enemy agent.
There are many elements of gameplay that players must focus on. Some of these include killing creeps to gain golden experience, killing enemy heroes to take away their gold, knowing each hero's unique abilities, buying items to improve your stats, killing neutral creeps to gain exclusive items, killing Roshan to gain an extra life. The end goal is to destroy the opposing team's agent. This structure is protected by other structures such as towers and barracks. Towers deal damage to the opposing team and prevent all buildings behind them from taking damage. Barracks reward the team that takes them with stronger creeps. Destroying all the barracks in a team's base will result in the team gaining mega creeps, a much stronger version of super creeps.
Here we are going to go into the stages of the game. Most matches can be broken up into 4 separate phases. Stage 1. This stage consists of the draft. This is where opposing teams take turns drafting heroes. There are over 120 heroes in the game, and the goal is to counterpick the opposing lineup to gain an advantage. Some heroes are better at different phases of the game. Most teams are made of 2 support heroes, 1 offlane hero, 1 mid lane hero, and 1 carry hero.
Stage 2. This stage is called early game or the laning phase. In this stage, carries are normally of little help, as they need to focus on killing creeps and gaining gold. Support should focus on helping their respective lane, such as the carry or offlane, to gain gold and to heal them and prevent them from being damaged. Not many teamfights happen during this stage, and it's generally better to stay close to towers, as they provide a general safety from the opposing team. Stage 3. This is also known as mid-game. This is where teamfights generally start to happen. Between fights, players should still focus on killing creeps to gain as much gold as possible. The carry may start to show up to a few fights if it's convenient for them, but their focus should stay on gaining more gold. Support should try their best to keep their teammates alive, and this is when teams generally start to take towers. It's also important to try to stick together with your team, unless you're farming. Stage 4, also known as late game. Teamfights happen very often. The carry should be in every single fight. If the carry was not in the fight, you should not have taken that fight. There's less emphasis on killing creeps in this phase, but it's still important that if you're doing nothing, you are. There's more emphasis on fighting your enemies, as at this stage in the game, you want to try to take their ancient. Knowing where your enemies are at is very important to prevent you from getting caught out of position. Not all games will reach late game, as some teams are very good in mid game and can end then. Dota started as a Warcraft mod. Over time, the mod went through several developers, some of which went to Riot to make League of Legends, and other went to Valve to make Dota 2. The rights were eventually bought and financed by Valve, and they put IceFrog in charge of developing the game, which officially launched in 2013.
Now, getting into the player and viewer statistics. Dota 2 International brought in lots of publicity. It continued to grow in player count and professional prize pools, but in recent years it has appeared to lose player count due to toxic players and overall it being a complicated game for new players to grasp. Right now, Dota 2 player count sits around 455,000 players. The path to the International is complicated and changes almost every year. Each season starts in fall and is concluded with the International in the summer. The Dota 2 Pro Circuit is made up of 3 main events: the Minors, Majors, and then the International. A point system determines who gets directly invited into certain events.
Minors were held as a way to get new talent into the upcoming majors. They were held in pairs with each of the majors, and the top places in the minors got a spot in the major. In the 2021 season, regional leagues replaced the minor system. Regional leagues last 6 weeks, and the top 4 teams in each region are invited to the major. Majors are held at various locations all around the world. There are 2 ways to get into a major. The first is to be invited by being one of the top teams placed in a regional league. The second is to place top 12 in the qualifiers. In total, Valve sponsors 3 majors every year in the fall, winter, and spring. Each team's placement in one of the 3 majors will add points to the team's score. The International is one of the largest events in all of esports. There are 3 ways to get into the International. The first is to get invited by being one of the top scoring teams in the season's majors. The second is to place in the top spot of your regional league. The third is to win the last chance qualifier, which is a separate tournament of the second and third place in each regional league to determine who gets the last 2 seats. As the International starts, it is single elimination. The deeper into the bracket the games go, it's best of 3. The final game is best of 5. The International holds the record for largest esports prize pool, and the winners get to host the Aegis of Champions, the trophy for the tournament.